Three, two, one. Welcome anyone to the Gaming Chamber podcast. This is 2B6U, aka Everett, with another episode this week. I don't know how to say it. Joining me today, this time now it's a three, or not this time, again this week, it's a three-man team. Of course, as usual, join me. Devin, go ahead, say what's up.
What's up, everybody? Hopefully everyone's having a good week.
And JJ rejoins us for this week. Go ahead, JJ.
Hello. I would be there.
Yeah, as I said, another three-man team for this week. Last week, almost 2 weeks ago. Oh, it was last week. Yeah, I'll say last week.
It was a week and a half.
Yeah, a week and a half. It was just me and Devin talking about the Developer Direct. That was a little quote-unquote special edition episode, but we still didn't kind of have a regular episode. Obviously, this week, regular episode. There's enough to talk about, so we're going to talk about it. But before we get into
Don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Let's not talk about it. Let's be about it. Before we get into all that, what have we been playing, fellas? JJ, you been playing anything or anything special?
I was playing a little bit of what was that one game? It's a Pikmin. I started playing Pikmin 4. I only started to play it.
Nice.
6 months later. But yeah, super excited. A lot of good news. I love the Pikmin franchise. I don't know. It just took me a long time to play because it's too busy playing Risky.
When did that game come out?
It in July.
Yeah, I was going to say July or August. That was a summer title.
Yeah,
I saw mine shrink wrap.
So no.
I need to play it. Like, I'm not. It's not like it's like a bad game. It's just like I haven't had time. Like, I've been playing Mario RPG over Pikmin, so just
if you play your
competing Switch titles.
I mean, that makes sense. You're gonna play one or the other, and I would assume once you get one going, you chose Mario. That's probably just gonna be until you beat it. Yeah. Speaking of which, then, Devin, what have you been playing? I'm assuming Mario.
Prince of Persia.
Oh,
no,
Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia 11. Everyone should be playing the new Prince of Persia game. It's so damn good, and it's only $50. Every time I think I'm getting close to the end, it's not like a bad thing that I have to like go do more things because the quests are fun. You get new powers. It's fun. It is a great Metroidvania game, especially for only $50. It's not like it's $50 and it's only like I don't know 10 to 15 hours long. I swear I've put 20 hours into it. I mean, I am collecting quite a bit of stuff in it, but like I still have quite a bit of it. Exactly, and there's still probably a good 5 to 10 hours left. So I'm like, everyone, if you like Metroidvania games, should be playing the new Prince of Persia. If you're not, you're missing out.
I mean, it got good reviews and everything, right? It was like
I know.
8.
The thing is, I feel like Power World is getting a lot of the attention right now, which we'll talk
about
later. But it's like Prince of Persia is a superior game.
I'm gonna
than Power World.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I heard you talk about like a lot of good shit about it.
I'm gonna disagree hard with the Prince of Persia's superior game.
It's a better game.
Because, yeah, that's what I've been playing. Basically, since the game came out, I don't know how many hours.
Playing different games.
Huh?
You can be playing a different game. It doesn't mean Prince of Persia is a polished game. Power World may end up being a better game after game preview and stuff like that. But
no,
right now,
may end up. It's a better game. It's a better game. I like Metroidvanias. Like Metroidvanias.
How much of Prince of Persia have you played?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I haven't even went back to Prince of Persia after that first night it came out because Power World is basically taken over. At least, if I'm not playing this game right here, Gears, with you, I'm playing Power World. Power World is so good. And for what I've been playing, Power World. It's Power World. That game is like, and like I told you, Devin, last week, whatever. I understand that, you may not be a fan of the genre or whatever it is, and even me to an extent. Like, I'm not really a fan of that genre. I like Minecraft, sure, but only really when I'm playing with people. But you don't see me. I heard someone call these types of games tree punchers. You know, I'm not like what Valheim. What other survival games? I exactly.
Fun.
Well, I mean, I'm not a big, survival game type of person. But the thing is, with Power World, which is what I was telling Devin, I'm like, it streamlines a lot of the things that I don't like about survival games. It's just the same thing with like Minecraft or anything, or any game in that genre or whatever, where it's if you're trying to get certain resources or build up certain things or have certain objects created or whatever it is, you have to do it yourself. So you have to go out, get it done, find the resources, build it, do all that stuff. All while obviously, eating, keeping your strengths up, and all that stuff. So Power World still does that, but I love that. Like when you have your own base, because I mean you have your own base, just like any other survival game. But in your own base, when you build up and level it up, the more pals you can just have doing things. So now instead of like, okay, well I gotta craft, 10, metal ingots or 10, this and create this. Nope, just have my pals do it. My pals are doing everything. I can go out and explore. See, that's the part I like about Depresso, exactly. That's the thing I like about survival games. If I do play a survival game, it's the exploration factor. Going out and collecting resources, killing things, just exploring the world. Those are always the best parts to me of a survival game, but that's only half of it. So with Power World being, and like I told him, maybe he needs to get to this point, and then that's where it'll click for him, because that's where it clicked for me, where you get to like maybe you have like 4 or 5 pals, and now they're the ones, making the ingots, making the different things for you. And now you could just go out and do this
thing be said about Prince of Persia that you need to put more time into it for it to click with you.
I'm talking about specifically with Power World and how, like, I understand you don't know because it's not the same. Because I like Metroidvanias. You give me a good Metroidvania, I'm like, I've put in a lot of hours into the not original, the Super Metroid. I played fucking a lot of why am I forgetting the name of that? There was that Xbox 360 arcade title.
Shadow Complex.
Shadow Complex. I played a lot of Shadow Complex. I love the Ori games. I like that genre. I like I said, specifically, you give me a good Metroidvania, I'm happy because I like that genre. I like playing Metroidvanias because it goes back to what I like about survival games and what I was talking about. I like the exploration aspect of these types of games. I like going out in the world. That's why I love Metroidvanias. I love going out in the world and finding new things, oh, I can't get to this spot yet because I need a new ability or a new whatever it is. Cool. I'll come back later. Let me go play more of the game. Now I have the grapple hook, or now I have this ability to, become mist and float through this grate, or I can become a bat or whatever. Obviously, that's more Castlevania I'm talking about. Or now I can have missiles, and there's just different things. Because I like exploring. I like going out into the worlds of games and just discovering things and doing all that. And with Power World, when most of the work portion of that genre is streamlined in like, oh, just have these creatures that you've enslaved do all the work. Go out and have fun. Go out and explore. Find the towers. Go ahead and catch more of these motherfuckers. Do all that shit. That's why this game is speaking to me more. And that's why I think this is a better game than Prince of Persia. As much as I know I would enjoy Prince of Persia because it's a Metroidvania and a good Metroidvania, this game just is appealing to me more because Power World, because I can do the quote unquote fun portion of it. I'll just say that because I know it is still subjective, but I can do the fun portion of the game while all the task portion of it is done by done by creatures that I collect.
Just say slaves.
Exactly. It's done by slaves. Little creature slaves that can sometimes have a gun. I mean, so far for me, what's really helped sell Power World, I captured and sold a human. I'm not kidding. I did that in the game. There's there's like human enemies AI, obviously.
Robert E. Lee would be very proud of you.
Yeah, exactly. But okay. But in the end, I'm gonna preface, or not preface, but just say like, yes, this is all subjective still. Obviously, it's in my opinion and whatnot. But Power World is, and yeah, that like you said earlier, or one of you guys said, it's in game preview. It's early access. They're going to improve on the game because there's still it's a little janky. It crashes.
What's the story of Power World again?
There is no story.
Exactly. There's no heart. Exactly.
You don't need to have a story for a game to be good.
You don't. I know you don't, but that's part of I know for me it helps immerse me into the game world if there's something.
I mean, what's the story of Gears of War multiplayer?
There's still a but there was still
no. I'm talking about campaign. I'm talking about this part specifically that we've sunk way too many hours into.
It's because the single player immerses into the genre.
I don't know, man.
That's a moot argument.
I don't know, man.
It's like saying what's the Call of Duty called the multiplayer.
I mean, that actually holds more weight. There was that whole thing. Remember that how many people
played the story, not multiplayer.
But how many? No, remember that time where
this is to compete. You're not doing anything. Right now, there's no PvP in that.
Well, they are going to
PvP. This is exactly. That's what I'm saying. So at some point there'll be a PvP, and that is to compete and show who's the best Pokemon trainer, essentially. When the PvP comes in there, but right now you're not competing. This is to compete to show.
It doesn't need to have a story. A game does not need to have a story to be good or to be fun. What makes the game fun is what the gameplay is. If you want to play a game for the story, then only play Last of Us Part 1. You don't care about the gameplay? That's Last of Us right there. Well, at least Part 1. You cannot bring that argument of a story because I really hate that. I really hate that argument of well, the story of this game. No, the story is part of the game, but that's not
people bring up valid arguments about video.
That is not a valid argument. What do you play games for? What do you play games for? And if you say the story, being a major portion of it, you're only saying it to quote unquote try and win this argument. People play video games to play a video game. If you want a story, you watch a movie or a show, or read a book. Video games are meant to be played, and there's no arguing with that. There is no arguing with that.
That's a lot of Sony games are mostly just story,
which is why I don't enjoy Sony games as much as I enjoy Xbox games. There's a reason I'm an Xbox gamer over being a PlayStation gamer, because as good as the story can be in a PlayStation game, they don't compete on the gameplay side of an Xbox game. I would much rather play Forza Horizon because of how fun those games are over even God of War. As much as I love God of War, well, specifically these newer God of Wars. Maybe the older God of Wars, yeah, because those games clearly were heavily dependent on their gameplay. Because their stories, I thought they were good, but a lot of people don't think the original God of War game story was great, which is, I'll never understand, but that's a whole other thing. Yeah, there's a reason. Like I said, there's a reason I choose Xbox games over PlayStation. Gameplay. Gameplay is king. And to try and mitigate or minimize that is just I'm not going to even entertain that as like an
gameplay. The thing is, it's an argument. Gameplay is the most important thing, but a story does help make the gameplay more enjoyable. Like, if Prince of Persia didn't have a story, it'd be really weird to be doing a Metroidvania game with no story.
I
Like,
mean,
why are you on this world with these creatures? Just like very basic lore.
Okay. So the argument for that against you is Super Metroid. Yes, there is a story to Super Metroid, but
dude, those games are so old. That's like Mario not having a story. It's hard to tell a story.
If you play Super Metroid, it's still just as good. Just as good. It doesn't matter if the game is old. What matters is the game holds up. It's just like...
And there still is a story in Super Metroid. Like, you still find out
it's a basic
like
story. It's a basic
a basic story.
In
the NES stick.
It's a basic story because the gameplay was focused on. Obviously, back then, yes, doing a story, heavy.
So you'd have as much fun in the Legend of Zelda games with no story.
I mean, the Legend of Zelda 1 is still one of my favorite games of all time. Link to the Past is legitimately tied for my favorite game of all time. And the story in that is, like, almost none. There's, like, some stuff about, like,
Almost none. Almost, but not none.
Okay. Legend of Zelda 1 is basically no story. And that's still one of my favorite games
But you're saying... Dude, you're hanging up on these little things.
People love Tetris. Tetris is literally one of the most popular games of all time. It's still heavily played. There is no story to Tetris. There's no story to Tetris.
I get it. You're backed into a corner about you love this Pokemon with guns game for whatever reason, and like you can't admit for whatever reason that story does play a part in a game being good.
I never said that story doesn't play a part. I said
when you think about it, the game isn't preview. Like Minecraft was a fucking beta for a while, and never had a story.
But I never said that the story doesn't matter.
Exactly, and that's why I said earlier. Right now, Prince of Persia is a better game because it's a full release game. It's not a game preview game.
But here's the thing: like I said, you're not letting me finish. I didn't say the story didn't matter. I said to try and act like the story makes a major is like a major part of that argument is disingenuous and
it's downright wrong that you're playing. If it's like a fucking like power of Minecraft, like it's a little story, but who gives a fuck?
It's fun.
That's what it is. But you don't like for a game like Gears and Call of Duty, like a decent story kind of makes it a little bit more intriguing and engaging at least instead of like, oh yeah, we're like locusts beating the fuck out of these random humans. It depends on the type of game. Tetris doesn't want because it's literally a puzzle game.
That's like saying Bejeweled doesn't have a fucking story.
And look at all these mobile games that are super popular. They're just like
with the boomers. Those don't count.
I'm just saying they're super popular for a reason because people like to play those games because they're fun for them. Because
they're fun, they're easy to play. Don't really need to be engaged until you can just get in.
But if the gameplay loop is fun and engaging, that's what people will end up gravitating.
TikTok brain.
Oh god, yeah, exactly. Especially in this, I mean, come on. Yeah. But that's my argument. Gameplay is king. To try and act like, there's a story, so that means this game is better than this game.
It doesn't automatically mean the game with a story is better. Like, obviously, the Order 1886 has a great story, but it's not a good video game.
I thought it was a pretty good game.
Dude, you have the worst taste in
3-hour fucking game.
Yeah, it's
some of your opinions on the stuff there is bad. 1886 is not a good video game. It's a walking simulator with a few times.
I didn't say good. I said it was an okay game.
I like how I try to make I love how I try to make an argument for you and saying it doesn't matter if a game has a good story. Gameplay does matter more. And you're like, well, actually, Order 1886 is a good game. Like, no, it's not a good game. It's a story.
The gameplay. It's just a shooter. You hardly
You
get
shoot like
shooters
3
from-
times.
I don't know.
The game is literally 3 hours. Right when the action ramps up at the very end, it's like game over. It was basically like
Yeah,
what was that?
like,
The Metal it was the Metal. It was like the Metal Gear Solid like before the Phantom Pain came out. They were like, oh, here's like that $30 game where you can do some extraction missions.
Ground Zeroes.
Yeah, it was basically fucking ground zeros.
I mean, people like that shit.
Because anything Hideo Kojima throws out there,
well, yeah, that's true.
people swallow that stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like Hideo Kojima could be like,
I mean, he literally made a game where you just deliver packages.
Yeah.
Just walk everywhere.
Here's post-apocalyptic FedEx with babies that grow in backpacks and
some weird fucking story about
And then I'm gonna throw in this Princess Beach line at the end. That's gonna be the cringiest thing in the fucking world.
But
and you're gonna buy
love that game. People love that game.
Yeah, again, because anything Hideo Kojima, he could be like, here's a collector's edition. It's literally my shit, and people would be like, dude, how did he come up with this? Like, how does Hideo Kojima's mind work? You know, it was so amazing when he made that one half naked chick, and then he retconned it to where she breathes through her skin. That way, it makes sense that way why she's half naked. But like, no, he made her half naked because he wanted to make her half naked, and then he added that shit in later because he didn't want to get fucking canceled for it. Like, but these people are like, oh, he's so brilliant, so brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, that I can agree with you on. Like, I don't know. I used to enjoy the Metal Gear games when it was. I mean, they were still.
Their gameplay sucks.
I like their game, but
the old game, dude. I tried to play the old Metal Gears, like on the 360 when they did like the
remaster,
the HD,
yeah,
the then HD, not the newest remake, but the first remake. And I tried like when I was aiming into like first person and the third person, I was like, dude, this is like, I swear, like a game just needs to stay. Like if you're gonna be aiming, like I'd rather just stay in first or third. Like it was weird. I think it was in Gears 2 where like the hammer burst when you aimed down sight, it like
you could
put you in first.
I
was like
3.
Oh. Okay. I was like, oh, what is this? Like, how do I delete this from my fucking memory?
Oh shit. Yeah, I don't know. The gameplay, I enjoyed the Metal Gear games, even the gameplay, but as it got more and more weird, that's when I stopped enjoying them. I'm like, okay, all of a sudden now this guy, so he put this dude's arm on him, and it somehow his soul took over that guy, but it actually didn't take over the soul. It was like nanomachines or something, and he like programmed it to make it seem like the soul took over. It's fucking weird. There's just a lot of weird. And like, oh, this person was actually like the father and mother of this character, and then and
like which snake is the real snake? There's like solid snake, and there's like liquid snake, and there's like
Big Boss. Big Boss.
Yeah, and then like Big Boss was killed in the first game. Oh, but no, he actually wasn't killed in the first game. He was killed in the second game. Oh, but he actually wasn't killed in the second game. He was still alive all these years. Yeah,
I don't know if Kingdom Hearts has a more confusing lore or Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. It's oh my god! I'm gonna love if the comments are like on the YouTube video. Be like, you don't know Metal Gear at all.
You're right. I don't. At this point, I'm not gonna waste my time.
I'm convinced nobody knows what Metal Gear is.
I think Kojima doesn't even know. That's probably why he got. I bet you it was. This is my theory. Konami didn't actually kick him out. They did kick him out. And I bet he was acting like such a fucking asshole at the end because he didn't know how to like really finish the game because the final act doesn't really end well. Like they kind of like repeat the missions and stuff.
I think that's.
I think he just threw.
And it's just Konami just recycled the missions the whole time.
Yeah, they recycled the missions. I don't think he knew how to finish the game, and things had got so confusing for him that he just like threw a fit and like basically got himself fired.
Maybe
got himself fired as an excuse. That's my because. When people try to explain it, I'm like, dude, I've watched like YouTube videos of people trying to explain like, oh, the events of this Metal Gear, how they lead in this one, this, and this. I'm like,
especially too, because like if you go in chronological order of the games, it's Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops 1 and 2. No, it's Metal Gear Solid 3. See, I'm already fucking up. I think it's supposed to be Metal Gear Solid 3, then Portable Ops 1 and 2. I think there was 2 of them, and then what was it called? Metal Gear. It was part of that HD remaster. It was like a.
Where's Peace Walker?
Peace Walker. Then it was Peace Walker.
That was on the PSP.
Yeah, then it was Peace Walker, and then it's Ground Zeroes, and then the Phantom Pain, and then Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2, and then Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 4. So, like, that's the chronological order of the game. None of those games were not released in that order. They were released, like, just, like, in so many, like, back and forth.
Same with Kingdom Hearts, bro. The prequel for Kingdom Hearts was a fucking phone game. Came out years later.
Oh, yeah. So, like,
like, where does, like, that 358 days over 2? Like, where the fuck does that fit in?
Yeah, so, like...
That takes place between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. After, like,
Jesus Christ. Are you being facetious or are you being serious?
No, that's what it is. Like, I think I watched like over the thing about it. I was actually, I think, watching the Angry Video Game Nerd was like talking about that shit because he's also complaining that the shit's so fucking convoluted as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
It's like there's an argument to be said for having like obviously it's nice having some lore that's like obviously in depth and intricate and stuff. Like you have like Outer Scrolls and stuff. Like they have like their lore and stuff. And like a really simplistic game. Like Gears' lore is pretty simple. Like there's aliens you gotta kill.
I mean, like actually, it's gotten a little bit more.
Like, it's gotten a little bit, but like
comic books and stuff like that. Like,
but there's something to be said about like you don't want to make it too confusing where like you're alienating all these people. I feel like I don't know. I remember working at GameStop. All these people would come and like, when does Kingdom Hearts 3 come out? I'm like, I want to be like, why do you want to play this game? Like, I feel like you guys are just like so up like Final Fantasies, but that you just don't even want to like acknowledge that your game is fucking confusing.
Wow. So that's what we've been playing. We got a freaking like 30-minute conversation out of that, talking about Power World, which we're gonna end up talking about again because that's gonna be one of the stories we talk about. But all right, so you guys want to get into what has happened so far, and basically the last week and a half since the special edition podcast me and Devin did. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Because woo, conversation. Hey, hey, the content is good when we do that.
Show me your content.
Oh my god. If you're willing to pay me $20 on my OnlyFans, then you get to see my content.
Done.
Feet pics and butthole pics.
Say less.
Oh my god. All right, so let's get to this first one. We don't play this game, so we'll do this one real quick. Halo Infinite. They got their live service going on with that game, no multiplayer. But so they do just like every other game. They have seasons. But they're moving away from that now. They're going to be moving to a smaller, content drop or smaller time window for the content drops now. And they're calling them operations, which I mean, I think they were calling them. Basically what Gears was doing. Because what Gears goes for like 2 months or something, while they were at the time. That's essentially what they're doing. It's going to be the same thing. It's the same thing. New maps, modes, or whatever, skins and all that. But now it's only 20 tiers to the battle pass. I think I read. I don't remember. I don't have the story pulled up. But yeah, so it is smaller in what you get and what they're giving us. Like one map, I think, is coming in the next. In their first quote unquote operation, and it's going to be based on Halo Wars.
Halo Wars.
Yeah, which is not bad games. They're not bad games.
They're simple RTS games.
I mean,
they had to be.
They had to be because they had console in mind when they made those.
Exactly.
So yeah.
But if you're looking at RTS or scratch your RTS itch or whatever the fuck I'm trying to say, like they're not bad.
Yeah. I mean, like I think I've said, was it 3 podcasts ago? Not a big strategy game guy, but yeah. I mean, the simple one. Why not? Yeah, that's their new. They also teased like new projects. That's why they were doing this um, downsizing of the content pipeline and everything. That like they wanted to free up. They're freeing up their teams for newer projects that they were making and everything. But you know, I don't know whether that's more Halo games or whatever, or maybe new games in general. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, like I don't know. I felt like Infinite was supposed to be like. I thought they were just going to kind of like adding and just like adding expansions. Like started working on a new campaign, then like adding on an additional campaign.
I mean, there was that like leak when the game first came out. That like in the like what do you call it, the code or whatever, had like something talking about the, what do they call that, the Undying or something. It was an enemy they mentioned in like the in the campaign. But in the code there was something about like the Undying, like that it was going to be like a thing added to the game. So everyone speculated that it was going to be content, like a DLC or an expansion for the story, the campaign. Obviously, when did that game come out? Almost 2.5 years ago now, like 2 years ago. So like nothing's come out since, and they've only worked on multiplayer.
Yeah, but I think that, and part of that might just be because they kind of had to, because multiplayer needed. People play Halo 4 as a multiplayer, so
yeah,
they probably just spent all that time fixing it, and then maybe now that they're because maybe multiplayer is in a good spot, they're just like, let's go. We can now focus back on the campaign shit.
Well, so this ties back to, we did talk about this right in the last like main episode, that they had that Halo, like who was it? I don't remember the name of the studio. That they were working on that Halo Battle Royale, but they've been doing a lot of like work on Halo in general. The company that was supposedly making the Halo Battle Royale, but that the Battle Royale got shelved. Whether that game got straight up canceled or it's turned into something else was a big like speculative point, talking point on social media and everything between gaming sites and other things or whatever. So maybe if the Halo Battle Royale did become something more, that now
if they're gonna add it to the game.
Yeah, not that they're gonna add it to the game, but like add it. That like maybe 343 Industries is like, hey, yeah, this has become something bigger. You're not gonna just work on it. We're gonna work on it with you. So maybe that could be part of like the quote unquote new projects that were being teased. That like now they're part of that, and it's its own game now. And
what happened to the whole BR? The only thing BR is in Halo is gonna be a battle rifle. Remember this shit?
Yeah. I mean, I would have liked the Halo Battle Royale. That would have
things change when money gets involved.
Yeah, like how much money does Fortnite make? Oh yeah.
How much money is Call of Duty like Warzone making?
I mean, maybe, see, I think we talked about this before. Now that they own, Xbox owns Activision, obviously they own Call of Duty now. And for me, maybe that's why, if the Halo Battle Royale got canceled altogether, maybe that's why, because they own Warzone and they're like, hey, you know what? We own this. Instead of making a Halo Battle Royale, we could just add like Halo skins and Halo map like for exclusive, like oh on the Xbox side, here's like a Halo map or something. I don't know. Like to me, that seems like they could be turning that into their like basically their Fortnite, where they have a bunch of like, oh, we're gonna add the Doomslayer, we're gonna add Marcus Phoenix or whoever from Marcus Phoenix, freaking Master Chief, like just a bunch of different things that are Xbox IP related to Warzone. As like, oh yeah, now buy here's the Forza car for some reason. Probably not a Forza car. That's a car from Forza or whatever. But that's like licensing stuff. But oh here's the Warthog. You could drive the Warthog now on Warzone. I don't know. Maybe that if the battle royale got canceled, maybe they're like, yeah, we can just focus on that. I don't know. Or like I said earlier, supposedly.
Yeah, but I mean, how many people are dying? I mean, like, but if they're, I just don't know where the intersection of like Halo and Call of Duty fans intersect. So it's like, are they really? If they make a Halo battle royale, are a lot of Halo people gonna?
Halo fans. Like,
yeah, but I know there were a lot, but like, how many? If they make a Halo battle royale, how many is it gonna really take? Because you don't want to like rob Peter to pay Paul or whatever the saying is. Like, but like, how many people are gonna leave playing Call of Duty Warzone to come play Halo? Like,
which is probably why lends more weight to me saying that maybe they're just gonna try and focus on Warzone. Because why would you, if you are already playing a battle royale and you're one of those first-person shooter guys that, maybe you were a Halo fan a long time ago, and you still are, but now, you're more of a major Call of Duty guy, why would you, go switch from Warzone to, Halo Royale or whatever? So, for me, it would make more sense for Xbox to be like, you know what? Let's just add a bunch of Xbox shit to Warzone. That makes more sense to me. And I know they have the crossplay on it, so there's gonna have to be some concession. I mean, it'll probably be like, oh, you can purchase it on this console, but then you still play it like Master Chief on PlayStation.
I met a Sony fanboy just getting fucked up by Master Chief on fucking.
Like there's like Fortnite.
Yeah, you can get the Kratos skin. I can play it right now if I don't have it downloaded, but if I download Fortnite and I boot it up, I can play as Kratos on my Xbox through Fortnite. So, I mean,
I'm assuming you would have the gold skin for having a PS5 with the Fortnite one. So, you get that one too.
Skin? I don't know.
Yeah, you get if you play Fortnite on PS5, just like you play Halo. I mean, if you play on Xbox Fortnite, you get the green Master Chief skin. You get the black one.
Well, I did get the black Master Chief skin.
Yeah,
I got that. Yeah. Right. Maybe I did. I don't know. So I don't know. I mean, Warzone already does like the weird, like there's the Diablo skin. Like, so they're already doing stuff like that.
Well, for Diablo, for what? For Call of Duty?
Like, for Warzone.
Well, it was part of already Activision, so that was before.
Yeah, I'm saying that they're already adding like non-Call of Duty, like stuff that like, wait, what? From other games. That's what I mean. From like other game franchises. Like, obviously, they were doing their stuff where it's like, oh, you can play as like anime characters and Spawn or whatever it is. But like they were trying to like do the like, oh, it's another skin for or costume for this character and everything. Whereas like it's Lilith, right? That's the name of the character from Diablo?
Yeah.
Like that's not like it's not a character, right? That's like it's a character dressed as Lilith. It is just straight up Lilith.
Yeah, you are Lilith.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not just doing the whole like, oh, you're playing as Makarov or Price, but they're dressed up as an anime character or whatever. No, it's just straight up Lilith. And Spawn too. Like Spawn is just straight up Spawn.
Even Cold War had fucking Scream, which is cool shit, but that's a different one.
Yeah. So like
Yeah,
they're
for
already
actual separate
doing that
characters.
kind of. Yeah, they're already doing that where they're just not just like, oh, it's a costume for this character. It is straight up the character. You know, and they're doing it with other
All
video
of
game franchises.
Like they with the weapon skin too, like with Doom, they had the Doom shotgun.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
it still
That's what I'm
looks like
saying.
the 8-bit, the old school one.
Yeah, so
Same sound effects and everything.
why not, now that Xbox owns Activision, why not go full bore and be like, here's the Gear skin, here's a Halo skin, here's fucking, just, we got more Bethesda stuff to add because,
fucking
yeah.
Fuss for Dope, some asshole. Fucking...
Yeah, like, why not? Yeah, we could play as a fucking Dragonborn now. Like, that would be, imagine, oh yeah, the Dragonborn, fucking
like an execution.
Oh god, the Fusro Dawes, the execution?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine like a squad of like the Dragonborn, Master Chief, Lilith, I guess, since it's already in there, and fucking, I don't know, just anybody. Like, pick your Xbox, whatever.
BJ, you can fucking put BJ Blazkowicz.
Yeah. Like, because Xbox owns all this stuff. I don't know.
I mean, dude, but the thing, like, you still get the same people that are always complaining. Like, Call of Duty's going to become like Fortnite, all these fucking skins.
Honestly.
Yeah, it's like you never win with people, bro.
But the people
Like,
that complain about that.
with that whole backlash with them adding A-Train from fucking The Boys, they're already going to hurt.
But the people who complain about that is always like the people who complain about anything about video games on the internet. It's always on the internet. It's obviously a small subsection of any fan base that complains like that. It's always like that because when you like,
they're like, "Hey man, Call of Duty turned into fucking Fortnite. Take my $10. I'm gonna buy the skin anyway."
Like you see, Call of Duty is the
how much does Fortnite make? Yeah. Okay.
Call of Duty is the example. How many times have we seen like? Remember when Infinite Warfare was like the most downvoted YouTube video of all time, or whatever? The trailer, and people like, I'm never playing Call of Duty again. Call of Duty's over. Blah, blah, blah. What has happened until last year? What has happened? Call of Duty was always the highest selling game every year. It's just, it doesn't matter how much complaining was happening or how many downvotes the trailers were getting. People went out and bought it. People went out and
No,
bought
the reason why I bought it is because he had the remastered of Call of Duty 4 in it too.
Okay.
That's one of the really big upsets.
People, the complaining and the hatred online for Call of Duty Vanguard, right? That was the other World War II one.
Vanguard's fucking dog shit, bro.
It was
fucking
still
horrible game.
It was still the best selling.
People still went out and bought it.
People still went out and bought it. That game was bad. The story was stupid. That game was not
Zombie
good.
was fucking horrible.
Exactly.
It was dumb as
As a
shit.
guy who
They tried to make story
as a
mode
guy
so cool, but it was boring as fuck.
As a casual fan of Call of Duty, to maybe above casual, to above casual, that game was bad. It still was the best selling game of that year. And I think the only reason that Modern Warfare 3 wasn't the best selling game of last year was a few reasons, actually. Obviously, at some point people are going to get a little tired, when you're giving them the same kind of thing over and over and over. I mean, MCU is feeling that kind of stuff, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You give them something over and over and over, eventually they're going to be like, okay, I don't want this. Then I also think the PlayStation people were like, I'm not buying this game because of the whole Xbox buying Activision. And that is a strong enough community that if they're like, I'm not going to buy the next Call of Duty game, it's an Xbox game now. Even though the purchase wasn't done until after the release of the game, it was still strong enough that it would affect the sales a bit. Added with, the whole people getting a little tired of it. And then I think the quote-unquote controversy with Hogwarts Legacy, because that's what ended up as the best-selling game of last year. The whole controversy, yeah. I think the controversy with that game, how people were like, if you buy this game, you're a bigot, basically. That propelled that game to just buy it. Like, people to buy it because they're like, oh, this game, it's the strike sound effect. People try to be like, oh no, I'm gonna hide this. Don't buy this. If you buy this, you're a bad person. This isn't that. What happens? People are like, well, now I gotta check it out. It's the same thing. Actually, Power World's going through it. Because if you look on Twitter, there's still a lot. It's mostly Pokemon fans, but there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, if you buy this game, you're a bad person. Don't buy this game. This, and that." And it propelled Power World to sell, at least on Steam. It sold like almost 10 million units in a week. Like, you can't tell people, don't look at this. Don't look behind the curtain. Don't buy this. Don't do this. Because what happens? People say, oh, well now I gotta look. Like, now I have to check it out myself. And I think those few reasons, like I said, saturation of Call of Duty, the purchase of Activision, and Hogwarts blowing up because people were like, don't buy this game. It's evil. Like, caused Call of Duty. It still was, I'm pretty sure it was still the number 2 highest selling game of last year. But, Modern Warfare 3, yeah. It's still, that's the thing. In the months that Modern Warfare 3 released, as much shit as people were talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, I think Modern Warfare 3 was still the highest selling game, at least the month it released, which was, November or whatever it was? I don't remember.
October.
It was October? Yeah, that.
October.
It was okay. If it was October, it was October. It was still the highest selling game of that month. It still sold a lot of copies. Like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, people complaining on the internet, it's always gonna be minuscule. They like, people complaining on the internet don't matter. They don't. The wider audience is always gonna be everyone else. It's just how it is. But wow, we got like a 20-minute conversation out of Halo Infinite. Yeah, I don't know. let's move on to. Yeah, this is a smaller one before we probably get into the 3, quote unquote. Well, one of them's a little bit bigger than obviously the 2 are the biggest ones. Number 2 on our little agenda, we'll talk about the ID at Xbox Indie Selects. So what they're going to be doing is, it's not going to be games on Game Pass. They're going to be specifically.
The fucking killer.
It's going to be specifically indie games that are on, obviously being highlighted, that are not on Game Pass, and they're going to be doing just like shades of Xbox Live Arcade Wednesdays. These are games that are going to be released on Wednesday, and they're going to be spotlighted on the dashboard or in the marketplace and everything to be like, buy these games. I don't know if they're going to do anything like they did with like the Summer of Arcade, where it's like, buy all of them and you get something. I don't know anything about that. Yeah, they haven't done that in years. So I don't know if they're going to try and move back toward that. Maybe we call it like Summer of Indie or something.
No, this gives the Microsoft reward like points when you buy shit. So I don't think it's not, like, you'll see bonuses sometimes, but maybe that way, maybe. But they've even kind of shied away from doing that in recent times. Like the Microsoft rewards.
Yeah, they don't give you as much.
Yeah. Even like when you're searching, they downgraded their like search reward stuff. Like, you don't get as much when you search on Bing and stuff like that. So,
well, I don't know. I mean, like, Summer of Arcade was always cool. I remember actually one year I did buy every game. I think it was
because if you liked all of them, even if you didn't really care for the last one, it's like, if you really wanted like 3 of the 4, it made it worthwhile to buy all. Because
you would get what?
And you basically get that one for free.
Yeah, it would give you like the equipment, because it was still like the Microsoft, or not the.
Yeah,
the
Microsoft points.
Or whatever it was, right? Yeah, it was still that at the time, and I think it was equivalent to like $15, and all the games were typically $15.
Yeah.
I don't remember what year I did buy all the games. I think it was the year that Shadow Complex came out.
Probably like Missplosion, I think it was that same year too or something.
Yeah, was Limbo that year as well?
Yeah, I think so.
There was like a, it was a game. It was like a, yeah. The fourth game was like some weird like science game. Like it was trying to be like like Shades of Portal or something. I don't remember what it was. Quantum something or Quantum Conundrum. That was the name of the game. That was the one I didn't care about. Whatever year that game came out, I bought all the games that year so I could get the Microsoft points back. Because the other games I was more interested in. So I ended up was like, fuck it, I'll buy all of them and get the Microsoft points back, the $15 back, and then I can get something else later on or whatever. But yeah, I know. So they're moving back to this, or not moving back, but they're doing this like to, because that was obviously smaller games, indie games. I don't think all of them were always indie games. Some are arcade. Like whenever they did that, it was, I don't think it was always. Well, no, yeah, because Shadow Complex was 1 year, and that wasn't an indie game. That was Epic Games, Terra Entertainment. Like I'm pretty sure Epic owned them at the time. So
Yeah,
like, yeah.
it did.
So yeah, that was definitely not an indie game. This is tailored more, obviously more for indies, not just small games. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I don't play a lot of indie games. I'm not big on indie games typically because a lot of them are just. There's too many of them to try to do the like. Oh, this one looks like an old game. Like, okay, if I want to play a game that has that kind of graphics, you know what I'll do? I'll go play Mega Man X, Mega Man 1, Legend of Zelda 1, Zelda 2. Like I'll just go play that instead. I don't know. Some of them are kind of fun. There was like what was it called? It was like a platformer. It was actually on the 3DS for a while at first. I think it was called Mutant Muds. That's what it was called. Then it started releasing on consoles. That one was pretty good. So I don't know. JJ, you excited about more indie games being spotlighted?
Nah, I haven't played an indie game in a long time. Well, I guess like the Riot games, whatever, the Riot Forge. But I don't think they're really that.
Did you play Power World? That's an indie game.
Eh.
Technically, that's
One
an
of the
indie
games that's gonna die out in a few months. It's just like
probably. I don't know.
I
Power
do
World
not
seems
see
like
myself playing the game for another like
I think
month or
Power
so.
World has legs on it. If Valheim can have legs, and that's
Oh,
just
Valheim's the goat, dude. I guess the indie company, I guess, is fucking Phasmophobia. That's just fucking dope.
that's supposed to be releasing on Xbox at some point, isn't it? If it's
Yeah.
not already. Maybe that'll be part of this when it's getting released. Yeah, like I said, I'm not too excited. I'm assuming you're not as excited either, Devin.
No, I mean, like, I don't know, like, indie games,
Mixed
I mean,
games.
like, I don't know, like, I mean, like, I don't know, is Tunic an indie game?
Yes,
Tunic was
that is
pretty
an
nice.
indie game.
Tunic was good. So, I mean, like, I don't know, when they're, like, slightly above, because, like, that had very much, like, that was like an old school Zelda game, and it was really cool. Like, did a cool, like, little twist on it. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Tunic, but like, where it was like, it's like they didn't give you instructions on like what to do or where to go. Like, you had to find the collectibles was the game manual.
Yeah,
Like, you had to find out
really
how to
cool
do
shit.
things. So like, Tunic was really cool, and it was like, and if you didn't really like, eventually I was just like, man, because I got to some point, I'm like, I could grind to play as boss and do this stuff. You can turn on a mode in there where it's like in invincible mode, and you can just so basically just turn so you don't have to worry about like fucking around. But it did, like, there was a boss that was pissing me off, and I just went to the settings. I'm like, hey, that's the difficulty in this. Like, I don't feel like trying right now.
I kind of like
So
games
like,
that do stuff like that, where it's like, you know what,
yeah,
hey, you
'cause
want to
didn't,
just,
I didn't feel like, I mean, like, I could have like went back, grinded, found some more collectibles, got better stuff. like got more hearts, so that way I could take a couple more hits. But I was like, I just want to like progress the story of this.
Yeah.
And like I was like in settings, I was like, can I turn down the difficulty? But I just turned it off like the boss. I turned it back on afterwards. Like I still wanted the challenge. I just didn't really want to waste time on that boss anymore. Yeah, no, like I don't know. Like Tunic is a really good like.
So if more games are like
in a while.
that are in
Yeah, if that's like an indie game, like I always say, like if they're gonna come like in terms and be like Shadow Complex like quality, like yeah, I don't really want to play like 8-bit games on my $500 console. Like this doesn't seem.
I mean,
I'm not here
mind. I don't mind it
like,
necessarily, but
yeah.
But it seems like a lot of indie games kind of just fall back on like, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
We look like an old school game. Like, okay, cool. Everyone does that. You know? Give me.
I know. It's like these fucking like these burger places that pop up, and it's just like they all have like the metal chairs, and like they all do the same stuff with the burger. They're like, look at us, we're so cool in our hip with our food choices. It's like literally every place that's like not a fast food burger place, they make their burgers the same. You guys have like the same decor design. Like you're not being cool,
original.
hip, and indie.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay if you want to make your game look fairly realistic.
Yeah. Like there's that one game I think I'm pretty sure I looked a little bit more realistic. My Friend Pedro, one with the banana on the cover.
Oh dude, yeah, Pedro was a great game.
Yeah, but they didn't try to do like, hey, let's make it look. They're just like, fuck, we're gonna try and make it look as good as we can make it with the budget we have and all that stuff. Let's just make sure it's fun.
That game was fun, just like doing like backflips and slow mo and shooting people. That was fun. I forgot about that game.
You know, it's funny.
So, yeah,
I say
if
that.
games are like that.
Yeah.
If the games are like that quality and like that style, I'm definitely clear on that.
The funny thing is, I say that like, oh, games do this as a crutch too much. Whatever, like fall back on like the art style or the look of a game, like to make it look old school. But like literally, one of my favorite indie games is that Vampire Survivors. Like I don't
know.
That game was
like the indie darling hit of last year.
A couple years ago, but yeah.
Well,
a couple years ago.
But it was like it was only released on Xbox last year.
I believe it was released on Xbox a couple years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just no one gave a shit about that.
Just no one. I think it was one of those like, fuck, what was that one game? It was one of those games where like it was released and nobody like gave a fuck until like a streamer probably like started playing it and then it picked up steam.
Gotcha.
There was another game that Rocket League, I think. Like Rocket League wasn't. It was a sequel to a game that.
You know why Rocket popped up? Because it's free on PlayStation Plus. The second month PlayStation 4 came out.
No, there was another. But there was another game. It was like it had
been out for PS2 a long time ago.
No. There was something else that came out like I don't remember when. It came out like it was Among Us. That's the game I'm talking about. Among Us had already been. Yeah, Among Us had
Among Us like popped off like pandemic.
Yeah, it was like the perfect like storm of stuff happened, and Among Us.
Like we have nothing to do. What's a game to play?
Yeah,
fucking game.
That game had already been out for a while. I think a year actually. And then
it's like a bunch of college students like made it.
And then and then it just out of nowhere it blew up. So I mean it's not unheard of for a game to be out for a while and then like at some point something happens and it pops off. So I mean it's not unheard of for that to happen because it happened with Among Us, another indie darling, you know. Yeah, you know.
I'm gonna buy you an Among Us, Staffy.
Among Us, bro. It's pretty sus, bro. That's pretty sus.
Oh my god. All right, let's move on to this next one. Let's get back to talking about Power World. Yeah, I want to talk about these controversies. Power World isn't sus. Or is it?
It is very sus.
You know what?
It's the most sus thing in the world.
According to some people, it is sus. So here's one of the controversies. We'll talk about the other one after because that has to do with Pokemon Company and everything, Game Freak. But one of these quote unquote controversies, people are like talking about, is this game made by AI? Like, yeah, now we're getting there where it's not being developed by just people doing stuff. No, you know what? I understand a bit why people are starting to think this after the day before. With it's like, oh, this looks like they just bought a bunch of like content packs and then just put it together. So yeah, people are like, they don't think that this is like a wholly original game. That like AI created most of this game and then people just put the pieces together basically. Like I said, there's a lot of hatred online for this game right now, even though it's also very popular. But you know, so I don't know. What do you think about that? An AI possibly creating a game?
Well, this goes. This is what I was going to talk about later too. But this is why I think I don't think it's made by AI. I think they just kind of like jumbled a bunch of ideas together and just doesn't have. To me, Power doesn't really have a soul. Like
So
it just doesn't feel like.
actually on that, the so made by a company called Pocket Bear. The CEO of the company, whatever the director, I don't remember what he is specifically. There was a tweet that he had, or something like a quote from somewhere where he did basically talk about like, what if we made a game that just took basically the popular games and put it together, but not in those words. But like that was the gist of what he said. If you took the popular stuff and just put it together and made a game, that's, I mean, there is like that whole like this is probably what it is. Then he saw like survival games are popular, Pokemon is popular, and you know it kind of looks like Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild the way like you know you even like climb wall or mountains and all that stuff. Like, I mean, you're probably not wrong on that. Like, yeah, they took stuff and like jumbled it together and made a game. That's
Yeah, that's why I think once it gets out of game, like because it's in game preview, they're still ironing out shit. Like it's gonna be more cohesive, ideally, especially when you get an influx of
cash.
because the game. How much is the game? How much is the game? It's on Game Pass. I don't even know how.
Well, it's on Game Pass, so I want to say it's like
Well, exactly, but like on
20 to
PC,
$30.
$30,
$20 to $30.
$30. So 30 times 5 million. That's
Well,
copies.
no, on Steam it's sold 8 million copies.
Oh, 8 million now. Okay, so 30 times 8 million. So I mean, you're looking at $24 million. So I'm hoping with $24 million they can like rough, like round it out, like get rid of some of its rough edges, and like I don't know.
I mean, okay,
like
so
the PvP might be cool.
So yeah, they've already released like a roadmap of what they're going to be doing for both Steam version and console version or Game Pass versions. Because even if you get it on Game Pass on PC, it's a different version from the Steam version. But they said that they are going to get them up to par with each other at some point because they want to have crossplay. Yeah, they're going to add PvP, but also PvP for pals. So I'm like, are they going to do like where because there's guns in the game? Are they going to try and have it where it's like, oh, players can play against players and just shoot each other, and then of course just like straight up monster battling? Then more PvPvE. So like something like what is it like I'm trying to remember a game where it had that one mode in Left 4 Dead 2 where they had the two teams fighting each other, but zombies were still part of it. Something like that. And then they're gonna add raid bosses and more general bug fixes and like more islands and more pals and everything. They're gonna be adding on to the game. So they do plan on adding on to that game and getting it up to speed with the both versions to be the same and everything. They're gonna put in the work. They've already said they're gonna put in the work. Whether they do it or not, yeah, it's the whole obviously other thing. I don't think.
I don't see why they would at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, no.
You keep getting more and more players. They're not gonna do it the day before us. Like, I just think the thing is, the game preview. They're gonna make the game better, and I think as it goes along, I will enjoy it more. Once, like, I don't know, because like when the first couple times I even tried to boot up, the game did crash on me, and like that's like
it's crashed on me as well.
So it's just like, I don't know. Game previews are fun and all, and I'm glad on Game Pass. I didn't pay for it. And back when like first when like PUBG was like on like game preview on Xbox, and God, that thing was rough. And then I set that down for a while until that finally.
That game's still kind of rough.
Oh yeah, that's part of the charm of PUBG.
The jank.
PUBG.
I mean, yeah. No.
I know PUBG's a bad game, but it has a special place in my heart.
Well, I mean, like I said, there's some stuff like it's still rough around the edges, Power World, but like the game, it still runs well enough. Like I said, yeah, I have had some crashes, and like there's some like weird texture pop-ins and stuff, obviously. And like yesterday when I was playing, or 2 days ago when I was playing, it was doing this weird thing where it's like, can't save your world. The world cannot be saved right now, or something. Like, I wasn't able to save my data. But like, I know
the world can't be saved.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, well, I already knew that. But yeah, it wasn't able to like save my data, but it did save it because it crashed on me while I was doing that. And I was able to go back into right where I was, which was I was like about to fight a boss in the game or whatever, one of the PAL bosses. But like, I've only had a few crashes, and I've been playing the game since it came out. Like I said, it's some weird texture pop-ins. It looks rough. It doesn't look like quote unquote next gen. But I don't know. Like I said, the game is super fun. And
the game is really fun for all these, because like I've never been a Pokemon person. I think it's fun for all these people who like love Pokemon, and Pokemon hasn't advanced at all in the last 20 years. It's been the same crap.
Yeah, there's been a big. So part of it, we'll get into it here. The other quote unquote controversy. Part of that is there's a big section online of people who obviously still Pokemon fans that will eat up Pokemon no matter what. I'm part of that. Yeah, I mean, I'm part of that. I still play, like, I still enjoyed Scarlet, right? Scarlet and Violet. I had Violet for what it was.
You have the worst taste and everything.
But damn, they needed to work on the game maybe for like another 2 years before releasing it, because it looked ugly. It had bad frame rate, and
still bought it though.
Because, like I said, I'm part of that. Like, I'm a Pokemon guy. Mainline games. I'm not gonna just buy every Pokemon, everything. Like, you're never gonna see me like, I gotta play Pokemon Sleep, whatever it was fucking called. Like I didn't get the newest Pokemon Snap, right? That's what it was called. The second Pokemon picture game. Why am I forgetting what it was called? Pokemon Snap. I didn't buy that, but like, if it's a mainline Pokemon game, I want to play it. I'm just saying, if it's a mainline Pokemon game, I want to play the game, because I do enjoy the games enough. I enjoy the gameplay loop, and it's still that same gameplay loop. But yeah, that game was super rough. So, like I said, there is, yes, that section that doesn't matter. Pokemon. They hate Pal World because they think it's a Pokemon ripoff. But there's a lot of it, a big section too, that's like, no, we're gonna play this game. I love this game because hopefully it kicks Pokemon in the ass for them to finally like actually start working on their games. So maybe, I mean, like, there's maybe that's a big portion of their sales, is that people want Pokemon to improve. The Game Freak, or whatever, they want them to improve their games. Because even if you look, like, when they anytime they would post something on like Twitter or whatever, people were just spamming like replies and everything, or comments on their posts and all that stuff, with like talking about Power World, which leads into the second controversy that Pokemon finally actually addressed it and said they're going to investigate the game, basically, and investigate what they can to see if they can sue, because there are enough people saying that this is a ripoff of Pokemon. So take that for what it is. They said that they're going to investigate. I don't think it's if they would have a case anyway to be able to sue Pocket Pair for Powell, because I mean, can you really? What happened here? Am I still?
You're still talking.
Oh, I'm like, something happened. Did we get kicked out of the game?
Yeah, just send the Discord. Just keep.
Oh, okay. So what was I saying? I don't think there's enough to try and actually get a case going. Yeah, they have the cute creatures, but there's a lot of games that do that. This game isn't.
They saw the game coming out earlier. It was announced earlier. Nintendo would have fucking done something about it.
Yeah.
And I think they already did a couple times already before the game was even released, like a preview or beta.
But the thing
like
is,
somehow you'd have to get somehow there'd have to be like leaks of internal emails of saying like, hey, go in like AI chat and say, hey, can you copy my homework, but don't copy it exactly, and then like spit out a Pokemon that looks like this. And I'll use it.
It could, yeah, it was like same thing as something. Was talking saying like, hey, could be if they did use AI art shit, it could be like type in a creature, but of course it's gonna type in a creature like what's a water type creature like turtle or something like well the 10 already has Squirtle, so it's gonna look on the internet and get Squirtle lookalikes, and they probably just kept redoing it, like make it a different one, so it doesn't look too like spot on, like I said, like it's very similar.
So I don't know if you guys know who Richard Hogue is. He's a lawyer. He has a Twitter. Does a lot of video game or talk on his Twitter account. He's a lawyer. So he was talking about this, and I don't remember his exact wording for his tweet, but he was saying that even though, yes, it does seem like they kind of like tiptoe that line of like looking, the creatures looking a lot like certain Pokemon. And even me, I'm like, this one, like, there's this one called, I think it's called Cremia or something. It looks like an Eevee. Like, some of them are like, yeah, this looks straight up like they ripped off a Pokemon. But like I said, it's the cute creature thing. You kind of can't really have, because there's what, like 1,000 Pokemon now. You kind of can't, like, to come up with a fully original creature is probably hard. I mean, there's literally an ice cream Pokemon. It's a literal ice cream cone, and it's a Pokemon. There's a freaking set of keys. Klefka. That's Pokemon. So to be able to like come up with a fully original creature is probably a little difficult. But the thing is, this game is not a Pokemon game. Like it's not a creature collecting game in that sense. It's like I said, it's a survival game, and it has creatures in it. It has creature collecting element in a survival game, and I actually might be getting disconnected from the internet.
You're still here.
Yeah, I think I might be just getting disconnected from the game. Then there's something going on, or unless you didn't get disconnected, or you got disconnected as well. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I got disconnected.
All right, hold back.
Oh, looks like there's internet issues with maybe Gears servers issues.
Multiplayer.
Yeah, multiplayer. But yeah, I don't know. Hey, it's just helping the content better for the podcast. It's its own game. Like I said, they mashed up a bunch of ideas clearly, but in the end, it's a survival game with creature collecting elements. So
There's so many things that it does, like in the Minecraft, it's got not Minecraft, but the Fortnite Axe Wing, and it looks like the menus look like Ark survival. So it's like, yeah, one aspect looks like it's taking from Pokemon, but it's like it's
they're
taking
taking
a lot
from a
of
lot of
everything else.
yeah.
It's not like it's just purely based like, oh, you're going around collecting pals, and then like you're just getting, here's your Paladex, and then you're gonna go fight other pals with other trainers. And it's just like they don't even, like, they're not even trying to hide it. It's like there's a bunch of other different elements. So it's like, yeah, sure, they're tough, like there's cute creatures that look like Pokemon, but like, yeah, like you said, how many other games have cute creatures?
I mean, Temtem just
as
got
part
released
of
not
their
too long ago.
exactly.
There's another game, Nexomon 3, that's going to be released, I think, this year.
It's like, what? Oh, so it's Digimon? Like, should we sue Digimon because they have, like, it's like that's fucking Pokemon. Like get out of here. Like, no, like Nintendo.
No, Digimon is
Regardless,
You still have a person. You still fight. Do the same shit.
exactly.
Different
That's what I'm saying.
evolution is gonna look different.
Exactly, but it's still different enough. But it's like that. There's you can't Pokemon can't sue Digimon, even though it's fairly similar.
yeah,
Like,
that'd be like saying
obviously,
Call of Duty ripped off Halo, or Halo
exactly.
ripped off Doom. Yes, they're shooters.
That's like, yeah, every shooter.
It's like Call of Duty, yeah, or it's like Call of Duty, like when Medal of Honor comes out and the Battlefield is like, oh, you can't have a military shooter because it's so similar. It's like, no, dude, like get out of here. Like there are other takes on it. Like it's not like it's like they didn't steal your assets. Like unless they can prove that assets were somehow stolen, then there's the issue. But like there's can be other military shooters. There can be other sci-fi shooters. Like it just can't. You can't like just name your. It's not like they're like, yeah, here's Pikachu. Go catch Pikachu, and then Pikachu's got a machine gun and shoot people. Like
There was a mod.
I do like how that one person. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I do love that mod that someone made that like turned everything into Pokemon
with guns. Literally.
I'm sure. I'm sure Nintendo can get that shit shut.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because Nintendo is.
I thought they tried to charge
no
to charge them on, which is retarded. Which is
that
really fucking stupid. Like, why would you charge money for this shit, bro?
That I wouldn't know.
According to Nintendo, to be like on your ass. Remember that?
Nintendo doesn't even like people really live streaming their games, which is wild to me. Like Nintendo with some of their stuff,
shit.
Yeah, some of like this is obviously way off topic, but Nintendo needs to like, I don't know, like they need to have a major overhaul of how they do a lot of things over there. Like they were lucky they had their diehard fanboys, and they had really good IPs. But in terms of like multiplayer and how like just the content that they allow to be shared, or how they allow like anybody in the community to use their content, like they need to totally revamp their processes. It's kind of they're very antiquated over there. They need to change some shit up, which I guess we can get into that when we talk about one of the next topics, like the Switch 2 rumors and stuff.
Yeah, because anybody messes with Nintendo product, they get shut down. But like Sega loves when people make new levels for Sonic, and they even hired a whole bunch of people that make one of the Sonic games. Like when they brought like everything back to redo the old school shit, they made it better. That's what Sega did. Rewarded those people. Like, oh, that's awesome. Because you guys are diehard fans for this. That's awesome, you guys. Good job.
Yeah, that's what they had.
Mario
That's what they had.
in crazy worlds. Hell no.
Yeah.
Jesus, get the hell out of my face.
That's what they had. Like, the fan-made Sonic games are better than like the mainline Sonic.
Yeah. Games. So actually, the guy who's now doing the Sonic games was doing the fan Sonic games, right? Because like, what was it called? Sonic. What was it when they did the whole return to the like 32-bit or 16-bit? It is 32-bit. What was it called? It was like it's basically Sonic 4, but they called it Sonic something.
Yeah, I can't remember. But the newest
Sonic Mania.
Yeah,
that was made by the guy who was doing the fan games. He did like, and then so he was doing fan games, and then they had him basically do like remasters for like the first 3 games on the phone. And so then, because he was doing a good enough job, he got to create Sonic Mania. And I'm pretty sure he's still like working on it. I'm pretty sure this latest Sonic All Stars or whatever is him. He does like side scrolling stuff, basically.
Yeah, why change something because it's so good? Again, he's a super diehard fan, and somebody who does it really good. It's fucking dope. That's awesome. It just makes the project more fun to the person making it, and it actually has heart. There's a lot of games that people make are just literally just corporate people that don't know shit about video games making games because it's all about money, you know?
Yeah.
It's like Baldur's Gate 3 was just so good because again, if people actually like playing games and actually understood the assignment, you know, and then it became the best game, you know. Just like was it Arkham was a new Suicide Squad, like a good single player publisher people like make a really good single player to make a multiplayer live service game, which it probably was the fucking higher ups telling them to do that.
Oh, for sure. Because they saw because they see this live service, they just see the dollar amount. They're like dollar. But like, how do we need to make money? We don't want to just make the $60 out of $70 off of Bob and Jane the first time they buy the game. Like, how do we get them to continuously pump money into our ecosystem? Like, how do we keep doing that? Like, they just see dollars, and it's unfortunate because it's just like
because Marvel's Avengers is so successful.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And like I don't know if there was the voice actor. There was a Damon Wayne Arkham game that got canned, and it sounds so much better than what we're getting to Suicide Squad.
I did not hear it. There was a Damian Wayne
Arkham game. And the reason you want to know the dumbest reason why it got canceled? You want to know? They canceled it because too much of the story got leaked online, so they didn't want to release it because it was ruined. So they basically were just like, they just took their ball home and didn't want to play it anymore. They're just like, hey, I did like changing it up.
I did not hear about that. That is crazy.
The actor, the voice actor, like he came in and like the voice actor that was going to do it was Damon Wayne or whatever. Like,
I love how you call him Damon Wayne.
Damian Wayne. Like, I'm just irritated that they got canceled. Like, it's so frustrating that like all these games became Arkham Knight, but now we're gonna get Suicide Squad. Like all the games that came out, it just sucks. Like this is what we're gonna get. Like, and it's just the masochist. I mean, it's just gonna be playing Suicide Squad just because like I love DC and I love their characters, but I just wish this wasn't the game we were. I wish we were getting a different game. I mean, maybe I'm gonna be wrong. Maybe I'm gonna pick up Suicide Squad, and maybe I'm just gonna love it. Yeah, I hope that's what it is. I hope that's what.
Well, did you enjoy that comes out? Nights. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah. It was good enough. I hated that it was 30 frames, but that game was supposed to, like, you could tell that game was supposed to be a live service game. Like, it clearly has, like, the way you, like, pick up stuff, like, you get, like, different elements and stuff like that to upgrade your weapons. It clearly plays like a live service game that they just, at the last second, ripped out the battle passes, ripped out, like, the stuff. Because, like, all the side missions in that game are just, like, auto-generated. Like, oh, there's an ambulance that's these crews trying to break into. Oh, there's a bunch of people trying to, that are just in this area. You gotta go take them out. And it's just, it's very, like,
apparent. It's very apparent that they had
it's very apparent that, like, that the last second they were like, hey, let's cut this out. Because people don't like live service games. And they're like, okay.
I wonder why they had to stay for Suicide Squad, though.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think
that are higher ups are out of the touch of what people actually want in a video game because they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of those games, dude. Like, WoW was a fucking shit show. Because none of the people.
Well, it's like Diablo's turned, like, and Diablo's turned, like, that's turned into dog shit lately. Like, from stuff I'm reading, like community forums and stuff like
that. Out of those stupid little updates.
Because they really focused on turning that game into like live service and everything. The live service model has like, yeah, it's like really, it's really gone.
Yeah,
like
that's why, like, I feel like even though Baldur's Gate's not my type of game that I want to play, like I do think it does need to be highlighted that like you can just make a video game a video game. You don't need to make it a continuous paid service. Because guess what? If you make a good video game, like, and it's just a video game, people are gonna come back and they're gonna keep supporting your video game. Like,
Well, so
I know
the
Grand
thing
Theft Auto
is-
has their shit, but like that game, Grand Theft Auto's always like continuously kept selling regardless. Like I know they have like their GTA Online, but people still buy it just for single player stuff. Like you can just make a good video game and people keep buying it.
Well,
Like
that's
it's
what I was
okay.
gonna say. That's the thing is that the live service
Everybody
model is
wants
getting
the game to be
put
like
into-
Grand Theft Auto.
But what I was gonna say, or what I'm saying is that like the live service model is getting put into games that like you don't need to make this a live service game. This game did not need like Suicide Squad. Why did you need to turn that into a live service game? Why did Marvel's Avengers have to be a live service game? Like certain games, Diablo doesn't need to be. Maybe in some aspects, maybe a live service, but maybe not at the same time. Because
Yeah, like Diablo, I could see as a live, like some live service stuff. Just like, but like make it a good live service. Like make shit that like people actually want. Because that's what the main complaint. It's like you're putting live service stuff in my game, but it's like it's not making the game more
Fun.
replayable for me.
like a game like Halo, Call of Duty, you know, like shooters that have obviously a heavy focus on multiplayer. That makes sense to like have it as a live service because you kind of have to be like tweaking the game, adding more stuff, and you know, especially like if you want like, oh yeah, you can have a skin to play as this character or this, or now your character looks like this and stuff. I'm like, obviously, Gears of War 6. They're gonna do that. Like what they did with Gears 5 and having the operations and everything, they're just gonna do it even more in the next Gears game, probably even harder. But like, I don't know, for that, like, it makes more sense. A game like Suicide Squad, by the guys, by the, you know, the fucking team that gave us the Arkham games, that one makes no sense.
It's just like skins, and like that's the one thing. At least like with Marvel Spider-Man, like it's like it's a multi. I don't know, just game, but it's a superhero game. They don't charge you for the skins because it's like you don't need. But it's like you're gonna charge me if I want to like I don't know have like classic Harley suit. Like really, like it just seems so fucked. Like I don't want to have to pay if I want to have the classic Harley skin, and it's like, and it just seems like all the characters, just from like what people have been saying, and like from gameplay, like all the characters move pretty much the same, and like King Shark is using guns, and it's like King Shark should be more melee combat focused and stuff like that. Like I don't know, like why is King Shark using guns just as much as Deadshot? I don't know, it just seems weird.
Yeah, and that makes Deadshot kind of like, oh, whatever, because you know he's the gunner guy, but
Which is like I
he's
said,
a
why
gunner.
it being a live service game makes no sense. If they were just like to make it maybe even a multiplayer game would have been fine. Like, oh, it's gonna be a co-op.
I know.
That's it. They could have made it where it's like,
I
yep, every character plays differently. From what
I
I
have
get,
other stories that come out about like more of their canceled games, just because I wonder or even just like what Suicide Squad, because I swear along the canceled, because in between the years between Arkham Knight and this game coming out, I swear there was a different Suicide Squad game that they were supposed to make, and maybe, and then I'm hoping the new Wonder Woman game, like the Shadow of Mordor team is working on at WB is good, because I have more faith in that than I do the Suicide Squad game. But at least I'm hoping the Shadow Mordor team, because they learned that microtransactions don't belong in a single player game, because they tried to do that shit, and then everyone was like, "Hey, this sucks," and then they got rid of it, and then they fixed that second floor of the Shadow Mordor game, whatever. Yeah, Shadow War. So yeah, I feel like if your game's single player, probably shouldn't have live service elements. But What do we know?
We're just players of games. So speaking of
3 dumbasses.
speaking of companies, I mean we already talked about. Speaking of companies that beat to their march to their beat to their own drum or whatever. I don't remember the saying.
Yeah.
And they're doing something that people are not agreeing with. Well, supposedly the rumor. The rumor now for the next Switch console, the next Nintendo console. I'm gonna call it the Super Switch because that's what I hope to call it, the Super Switch.
That'd be cool.
They're gonna have a LCD screen, an 8-inch LCD screen, and people are not happy. People are not happy about it, especially after we have obviously the OLED, the SWOLED, as people are calling the Switch with the OLED screen. To just go back to an LCD screen, people are like, yeah.
How are they gonna sell us the Super Switch OLED edition?
The Super SWOLED?
Yeah.
That's exactly. I mean, for me, I don't care about that. So I buy it anyway. Because I want a new Switch that's
and obviously, like, people should just calm down because these are just rumors. Because the Switch OLED was supposed to, like, I mean, I guess this was like, I think the Switch OLED was supposed to be like a 4K system, and just like they're like, oh, we added an Ethernet port and it's got a OLED screen, and people are like, oh, we thought it was gonna be way cooler, so maybe it'll be the opposite this time, and like it's just being maybe there's 2 options. Maybe there's gonna be an OLED screen, and then there's gonna be an LCD and an OLED screen. Like, I mean, if I can, or the Steam Deck when that came out, it didn't have an OLED, and now they came out with an OLED version. So it's like maybe they're just gonna have both, and do like have an Xbox route, have the Series S and Series X for like if you want to spend a little bit more. Because there might be some people who don't give a shit about because they don't really play in handheld mode that often.
That's
like
me. I don't play it in handheld that like very
exactly. Often. So you can just, and then as long as they're internally they're the same, like I guarantee you wouldn't care. You could say $50. You're getting a cheaper model or whatever. So
if they do that, that'd be great. All I really care about is that if the next
backwards compatible.
It needs to be backwards compatible. Yeah, that's all I care about. It needs to be backwards compatible because I have a lot of games on my
Switch. Play shit at 60 frames.
Well, I assume that would be part of it. It's going to be more.
You assume it's Nintendo.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Speaking, march to the beat of their own drum, like I said.
Like actually, we're going down to 15 frames a second.
So, my 2 wants, my 2 hopes is that I can play stuff. I don't even care if it's 1080p 60, as long as I can play 60 frames, and that it's backwards compatible. All the games that I own for the Switch, I can play on the Super Switch.
Yeah, I don't care. And then and it needs to make a bigger internal thing, like internal memory or whatever.
Getting like if they use the same kind of memory, that's not.
Yeah, that's true. But like, they need to take kind of like they need to adopt a little bit of like how Xbox and PlayStation, where it's like even if you like for some of these games, if you like it requires internet connection because you're going to need to download some of the game and put it on the system, so that way like it can run better, because the way that like a cartridge can't carry all this information. It's like I get it. Like you're limited by the cartridge.
By the amount.
Like you got to download. You like this game is like this cartridge can only carry like I don't know, just the cartridges information can carry or whatever. But like you got to download
the rest of the
40 gigs. You got to download 40 gigs to your Switch, which you just have to join the rest of the world where you have these fat game downloads, and that's just the way it is.
I get you. I mean, yeah.
Because
if they are to basically, like, because that was the main thing too. Is, the cartridges they use can't carry as much memory. So if they're going to continue doing that,
Well, yeah, because the Batman, the Arkham collection that got released on, it's only the first one's actually on cartridge. The other two you still have to download. So I'm like, they just need to do that for the next system. Like, if that's what it takes for Nintendo, like to get to the next gen market, they gotta do it.
Yeah, I get you. Which they probably are gonna have to do. Like, even probably reluctantly on their side, they might have to do it.
Awesome, right? Fucking
You're not talking a lot. What about you when it comes to a hopeful new Super Switch? What are you hoping, or what do you think might happen, or whatever?
it's long overdue. That's for fucking sure.
Well, I mean, yeah. The funny thing is, everyone's saying that like they need to catch up to next gen. Technically, they started this current gen with the Switch. The Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 are part of the Switch generation. So if they were to release a new Switch, like a completely new Switch, not like, oh, this is a new like just a more powerful version of the Switch 1, like they're starting the next gen. That actually might be what it is too. Maybe it's not actually like a completely new console. It might be like, oh, here's just a half-step upgrade of the Switch, like they've done with like the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. Maybe something like that. Where just
yeah. And I don't know how like hard it would be, but maybe when it's in dock mode, it is more powerful. Like the dock is more than just a way for it to be played on the TV. Like, is it like I just don't, I mean, obviously I'm not a programmer.
Well, that would mean
all that shit.
I think that right there is something that people have like talked about. Like, why don't they do that? But the thing is, the dock is just a way to put what's
exactly. That's what, like, but like I just don't know how hard that is to do.
Basically,
like, if it's even
they'll have to
possible.
turn the dock into its own actual console instead of just like a portal. Basically, it would have to actually be a straight up like this is a console, like that you're just kind of adding something onto. So I don't know if that's something they want to do, because that would mean that they can't really, because that's the thing with Nintendo too. They make the weaker console, but like look at how much the Switch is compared to the Series X and the PlayStation 5. So
you get Switch. I think isn't it 300 and then 200 for a Switch? Like, you just want to do handheld games.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like so, but still, I mean, you get still like the fucking other version, this weaker fucking Xbox one. Anyway, that's around almost the same price as that one, the Switch.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I guess
you're right. You're not wrong on that one. There's if you could spend basically the same amount for Switch, but get the Xbox Series S.
I get Game Pass and just boom.
And you get Series S's on sale all the time for $250. And they're always on sale.
But this is Nintendo we're talking about. I mean, they still sell games that are 10, 15
yeah,
years
kids
old.
will always be kids. We're always gonna have kids, so there's never gonna not sell.
Like the fact that I can go and
I think that was Epstein's motto.
Jesus Christ, there's all the kids I can sell. But like the fact that like,
no, they're always gonna be kids.
There's always gonna be kids. But yeah, the fact that I can go right now to like the Target across the street from where I live, I'm gonna buy a brand new copy of Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, brand new sealed copy.
It's still $60.
It's still fucking it's still full price. Like,
I think Nintendo always say the same price, no matter what. Mario Kart 8 is still $60.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
is that a little
launch title? That was a launch title.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, this was on fucking Wii U.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Breath of the Wild. Yeah, launch title.
At least they've had a DLC of the Mario Kart, so just releasing new ones. I will say that's been nice.
So I maybe expected them to do something where it's like, oh, it's still the same-ish price, maybe $400, but it's a more powerful console. No.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna
Yeah, most likely I'm still gonna buy it. Yeah, I mean, that's why my hope is that it's backwards compatible, and I could everything that I have on my Switch, my current Switch, will be on the next Switch. Because I don't want more. I don't want to have like
I want to keep my old system. I want to like if the Super Switch like can play the same games, like I'll get rid of my Switch, or maybe I'll keep it, and then when my kids old enough, they can fuck around with it.
Because yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people too. Like, maybe I'm part of the problem actually. Like,
I mean, yes, you are.
no, but like if they
always.
re-released the Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD and it was their full price, I would buy those fuckers so quick on the Switch.
So would like tens of millions of people.
But it's because like right now, like on my Switch, I can play Legend of Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Link to the Past, Minish Cap, obviously Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. They have the Link's Awakening remake. I could also just straight up play the original ones because of they got their Nintendo Online that has all that stuff. I can play so many of the Zelda games. They have Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, through the Nintendo's Online. I can pretty much play all of the Zelda games. They don't have like the GameCube ones. I forgot the Four Swords ones. And
Wind Waker.
Yeah, and then like I said, they don't have Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. But they have those HD versions that were released on the Wii U. If they re-released those and it was like, yeah, they're gonna be $60, I'd be like, all right, Nintendo, fine, you win. Here's my money, you fucking assholes.
Shut up and take my money. The fry, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Just so I can have those games. Just so I can play those games on my Switch. Yeah, like I don't want to have a Wii U to play those games.
Yeah, the thing called emulating.
No one. I mean, no one wants a Wii U. That's just
well, I mean, like especially because how many games that they released on Wii U have they released on the Switch? You know?
Oh my God.
Like how many of them? Yet they haven't released those two. Like you motherfucker.
It sells. It gets people to fucking have to buy the consoles.
Who wants to buy a Wii U when you can have a Switch?
Dude. The Wii U, man. I think it's the only console I regret buying.
Oh, you might be right on that one because I had the Wii U, and I think the only thing I played on it was the Zelda games. That was like I didn't care about anything else on it, like at all.
A bad system.
It wasn't that it was a bad system. It's just I just think.
Well, it's a bad system because there's no like. I remember like when working at GameStop, and I know JJ can fucking vouch for this too. The Wii U section was always like this little sliver of the wall, not because like it didn't sell.
Or it was the same.
Yeah, 3DS was for sure bigger. 3DS actually had titles being released for it. Like, what am I gonna play? Zombie U? Like, okay.
Like, I think that's what it was. It was just that their weird support of the system was.
That's why it was a bad system because like they had like there was no titles that came out for it. Like nothing came out for it. Like
Princess and
there wasn't a
HD.
Yeah, but they didn't get a game, but not a new Zelda. But yeah, there wasn't a new Zelda. Like there wasn't a new
Breath of the Wild was supposed to be that new Zelda, but then they.
Yeah, but that's like saying like, but that's like Twilight Princess was a GameCube title.
Yeah, that's true. Like it was.
Like, but they still ended up releasing a new Wii title.
Wasn't that an actual brand new game, New Super Mario Brothers U, or was that just?
Yeah, I mean, New Super Mario Bros. Game. So like, you have one new title, and I think Splatoon was also on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like, not it's turned into a decent IP, but like,
what 2 and 3?
Yeah. It's like they weren't. It wasn't a good system. There's no. I mean, yeah, like
I think
zombie.
what made it like
Taken 3 is pretty good.
I think what made it not a quote unquote good system was that like they decided to do the whole like the Wii U gamepad, adding this
But yeah,
like extra.
everyone that came to GameStop was like, oh, so I can take something to go. It's like, nah, like you can play in the same room. So like, basically, what the
I
PlayStation
thought it was an
Portal is
attachment
now.
for the Wii.
Yeah, it's like the PlayStation Portal, but it's only for like some games, like Super Mario Bros. U. But there's like, it's not every game that you could like.
Taken 3 was too, which is pretty good.
Oh.
Okay.
So it's like some games you can
Do it.
some, but not all. And then
Yeah. I know you could do it on Wind Waker HD. That was pretty cool. Playing it like that.
yeah, so it's like it's cool. If, like you want to watch a basketball game or football game, and you just don't want to be able to play games, and it's Wii U. But it's like at that point, like couldn't this just be on the 3DS? Like you guys already give me a system that I can take anywhere and play games. So it's like why you could have just I don't know.
I mean,
lower the scaling even more, and I could have played in 3D.
All that stuff is probably what inspired to just like, hey, you know what? Why don't we actually make?
The Switch is what. Yeah, like maybe the technology wasn't where it was, but maybe they should have waited to make it till he made the Switch. So, all arguments for a different time, but yes, I don't know. Switch 2 would be cool if it does exist or ever come out, or when it comes out. It obviously will.
Yeah, they're gonna make a new console, whether it's.
It'd be cool if it does come out this year, though. I don't know. I love new hardware. Like I haven't kept one of the PlayStation Portals because I've been one of those jerks that resell them. But I probably will eventually get and keep one. I love new hardware.
You know what?
I need it. I got to inject it in my veins.
The funny thing about that, the PlayStation Portal, I understand why people would want that. I understand it because I basically have that going on with my multiple TV setup. You know, you want to maybe I want to watch something on, like you said, like a football game, or my girlfriend, wife, kids, whatever it is, wants to watch something. They want to take over the TV. But I still like to play games. So I understand the PlayStation Portal and why the Wii U could have been something. But that's why. But that's why the Portal doesn't appeal to me. I have multiple TVs. The thing is, I also think the Portal just. I don't know why anyone would make that. They should have made it where it could connect to an internet thing and be like it's basically a streaming device wherever you go.
I thought that's what it is.
No,
I thought it was just as long as you stream on your Wi-Fi, you can stream it.
No.
What the fuck would you play in your house? The fuck?
Like he said, if you're like the way I was thinking about it is for the second parental leave, like I could have it in the bedroom like late at night and not have to get up and that was why why I may have wanted and kept it, but I think I'm just gonna play my Switch. So I think eventually I might get one. I think also one of the dumbest things Sony did with that was making it own. It's not just like generic Bluetooth. You can't connect any just Bluetooth headphones. You have to get their Sony brand $200 earbuds or a Sony headset, and it's just that's
ridiculous.
Fucked. But anyways, that's the thing is I just don't know if these companies they're we can make this new even if PlayStation Pro, it's we're gonna make this new thing that's okay, so Bluetooth, right? And people could just connect their Beats or whatever they want to, whatever Bluetooth headphones. They're no. What if we just lock it down and proprietary to only our Sony stuff? It's I think it's gonna piss some people off. They're already having to pay $200 for our thing. Yeah, it'd be nice if they bought our new thing team. It'd be cool if people bought our new earbuds, but I feel the people that want to buy those Sony wireless earbuds are gonna buy them anyway. Kind of the people who want an Elite controller from the Xbox, they're gonna buy the Elite controller. You don't need to tell me that Gears is only going to be compatible with the Elite controller. I want the Elite controller to play on Gears. I don't need to be like you're gonna get people that want to buy your stuff. It's just a dick move to be like, yeah, you gotta buy more Sony stuff to make this Sony device work better. I don't know. Like, if you want to play this on like quietly while your kid's sleeping, like let's say your kid falls asleep and you're like, I'll play some Marvel Spider-Man. Yep, can't play with sound on unless you buy our earbuds. Like, I don't know. It's anti-consumer. That just pisses me off.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into this last topic. I don't even know why I'm doing this one last. We should have waited. Actually, we should have been talking about the Switch last, but oh wow, we moved into this one last somehow. It just felt more natural to talk about the Switch once you started talking about like companies not doing what they should be doing or whatever. So yeah, this last one, the layoffs. There's at least 3 companies. JJ, you were telling me that there was other companies too, but from what I could find, or at least remember, People Can Fly. They laid off about, 30 people? Riot Games?
Yeah.
I know that's, JJ, that's your wheelhouse, Riot Games. They do League of Legends, right?
The one with the right one is literally all the console versions they're making, all those games. It talks about the other people's stories for the champions in the game. They're the one that got fired.
Yeah, they laid off 530 people.
Not the actual like Riot, like League of Legends, like game.
The goats.
Yeah, the one that's on the map. But like all the side little stories, yeah.
Yeah, and then the big one, Xbox 1900. They laid off 1900. So we'll go through. We'll go with Riot Games first. So you were already talking about it. So yeah, they were doing these story stuff. That's the people that got laid off. You know more about it than I do.
Yeah, it's the story. It's more like just single player games.
Okay, so that's just they're just
Stuff that wasn't gonna make.
It's like nobody really bought them. Like I feel like there were no incentives. It's like, oh, you wanted to learn about this champion's back lore. I'm like, I don't fucking care for a MOBA.
Because you play MOBA for the gameplay, not the story.
Again, it's a.
I mean, I don't know why you want to play a MOBA anyway, but you know that's.
This shit we're never playing.
Oh god.
But yeah, it's those people left. It sucks because I was hoping some of the guys that I like playing as got a story, and some of the lore and that stuff was pretty fucking crazy. But oh well.
I mean, you got Arcane if you want. That's a League of Legends.
Yeah, that's just talking about like 3 different people. Well, there's more characters, but like that's only depends on that location taking place. Like it's good.
I mean, obviously there was something there that wasn't making money or working or whatever you want to call it. That they were like, we're just gonna get rid of these people. So
I got it's.
No, I think that's just quite a lot of this stuff. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. It's the same thing like when we get to the Xbox layoffs. Why these layoffs happen, basically. We'll talk about this next one. The People Can Fly layoffs. It's only 30. I say only 30 people, but 30 people still lost their jobs. This one is just more cost-cutting measures. They were working on a game apparently. That's been canceled, and the team, 20 members left from that team that were working on the game have now just moved on to. It was something they were working on with Square Enix apparently. But now they've just moved on to like other projects within the company. But yeah, it sucks. They laid off some people. People Can Fly, a pretty good studio. I don't think they've really made a bad game. mean, I didn't play a lot of Outriders, but it was fun enough. But obviously, Bulletstorm. I I enjoy Gears of War Judgment. I know that's not a popular game within the Gears fandom or whatever, but I like the game. Uh, so I don't know. I mean, Devin, do you enjoy People Can Fly games? At least
Oh yeah,
now?
I mean, dude, I I would pay lots of dollars for a bullet
Well, Storm
storm
2.
sequel.
Yeah, oh my god.
I bought the remaster when it came out. Like, I mean, I paid for it twice. Like, I would love
It ends on a
Bulletstorm.
cliffhanger.
I know.
So, yeah.
Like, I bought it when it came out on. Like, I was gonna buy it like, even if it didn't come with the Gears 3 beta, like, free game.
That's right. It
And
did
like,
come with it, huh?
and it came with not came with, but like the fucking, I don't know, the horde mode that I had was fun. Like, you and friends can just
What's it called?
do
What's
some
that
shit.
one called? I don't remember what that one was called. Shit, yeah, I don't remember. Bulletstorm. I love that Bulletstorm basically had the same like control setup as Gears, but in a first-person shooter. Obviously, some of the stuff in Gears, like taking cover, wasn't in the game. But like
And
the
they
way
got
you,
to get people.
but like the way you ran in the game wasn't like how other first-person shooters did. It wasn't using the stick. You had to hold it like you do in Gears. Stuff like that or whatever. I like that they were just like. So to me, that always was like. That's why I've always thought it'd be cool if like, and actually, I wouldn't mind if People Can Fly did it. There was like a first-person Gears game that was just strictly multiplayer, and it was like set during like like the Pendulum Wars or something. I think that would be kind of cool. But yeah, it's JJ, you enjoyed People Can Fly games? I don't know. Have you played Outriders or enough Bulletstorm or anything? Or Judgment? Okay, JJ, I think is a little busy right now.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I did not play any of the games except Judgment, and I hate Judgment.
Oh, well, then oh yeah. Do you like Judgment?
It's okay.
Okay. I like that you can play as Baird as the main character.
Cole's the main character.
He's the main character of all the games.
Cole's the main character of every game. Cole's got main character. He's the main character.
They even added him into Tactics, right? So yeah, he's even the main character in Tactics somehow.
Correct.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, but it sucks. 30 people gone. Luckily, they're not closing, which could still end up happening at some point, but who knows? All right, it's a big one. Xbox, 1,900 people. Not only that, but Mikey Barra is gone. The guy who was president of Blizzard. This seems to affect mostly Blizzard. And there was like speaking of survival games, supposedly with these layoffs, there was it was called Odyssey. It was from Blizzard, a survival game. They were making a survival game. That's been canceled. That's part of this apparently. And apparently, the physical games department of Xbox, they got laid off. They're the people who work with like getting obviously box copies of the game shipped and all that stuff. Get out the door.
Yeah, I think most people understand what box copies mean.
Well, you never know. No, but their division does specifically. They don't make them. They work with the companies to get it done. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's why every disc is like made in Mexico.
Okay, well, I still have to explain it for the audience. Come on. It's not.
He's really breathing nice.
So breathing is when you fucking die, Devin. So, yeah, 1900. Mikey Barr, president of Blizzard, he's gone, which is super surprising because There was that whole like email or announcement thing that Phil Spencer did when the acquisition fully went through. He was like part of that, like that, like yeah, he's running Blizzard. It wasn't like, oh, we're gonna, he's running it for now or anything. He was part of that. So for him to, well, it's just like too. There was another. I don't remember her name. There was a woman who was like a big wig at Activision who left when Bobby Kotick left, basically too. She was part of that, and it didn't seem like these names were being put on like a temporary, like, oh, they're here for the time being. They were like here. But now, yeah, Mikey Barr's gone. 1,900 people. Game canceled. But apparently this was expected. Like, these kinds of things are expected because when mergers happen, people have to get laid off. But I'm not a businessman, so I wouldn't know anything about that. But
I mean, it's back when I work in the corporate world. Like, there's multiple roles that are like redundant. Like, so, like, you get like all these people, and yeah, that one guy may have been running quote unquote his division still, but it's like you get these people that don't have to answer to anybody that are so high up. He still has to answer now to Phil Spencer, so it's like, yeah, he's still running it, but he still has to probably run shit by. And he probably just got tired of that and was just like, hey, can you just lay me off? That's usually what happens with these mergers, these guys high ups, because there's high ups in both. You can't have two of the same, so like one's going to be higher, one's going to be lower, and they get tired of being told what to do, and then they get laid off. And then with the other 1,900 roles, they're all just redundant. Like, Microsoft probably already had them all. It was like, why do we have two people doing the job of one? Like, the fuck out of here.
Well, so here's, like, for me, something that's a little, that some people have talked about and might be a little alarming. So Mikey Barr is gone, like I said. But also, when they purchased Bethesda, like, Pete Hines left not too long after they got Bethesda. And he was running Bethesda. So you got these guys who are like higher ups within the company that, like, as soon as these deals go through, they're like, okay, I'm out of here. So I don't know. There was something with like Pete Hines who was like, he apparently wasn't happy with that they were going to make games exclusive or something. He didn't like that. I don't know if anything. Maybe something will come out with Mikey Barr saying like, "Oh, they're gonna do this." Yeah, I don't want to be here. So I don't know. I don't know if that's something that to like maybe ring alarm bells about. But I mean, there's a lot of people online who, I mean, anything Xbox does, it's like this. Then people are always gonna bitch and moan online about. But yeah, there's been a lot of like talk about Xbox, like, yeah, because 1,900 people is a lot of people. That is a lot of people.
It is and it isn't. I feel like the size of Microsoft.
Well, no, because it's specifically from like mainly like the Activision side. So,
I mean, all the people that are like fucking treating their employees like shit.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wonder why Xbox decided to get.
I mean, there was like that whole like there's a bad culture within that company, so maybe this was cleaning house. I did see some people talk about that, like maybe this was cleaning house. Like there was that like whole thing of like the culture within the company was not great. Maybe these people were part of that, and it's like, okay, cool, we own the company now. You were not good. You were not very well liked, we'll say, within the company because of what you did. You're out of here. I don't know. I'm just talking about it because obviously it's part of the podcast. But yeah, 1,900 layoffs. It's just a big number to me, but I've never been part of the corporate world. I'm not white,
Yes.
No, not to be a part of. I would not want to be a part of the corporate world. That's.
I mean, you essentially are, kind of, like a mini way.
I guess you're right, and a certain sense. But yeah, it's just I'm not too. I don't know. With people saying that just in general with the whole layoffs happening that people should be like worried about it. I don't think it's something to worry about. I think it's just more layoffs within the gaming industry, and we've been having that since last year. A lot of layoffs, and this is just especially because when like you said redundancies and all this stuff when mergers happen, some people unfortunately got to go. But yeah. But I guess I don't know, JJ, you have any thoughts?
For the clean out some people, that's fine. It's I feel like it's how to be done some day. Again, like you said, a bunch of people getting merged together. A lot of like jobs are pretty much doing the same thing or bullshit title, kind of, I guess. You know, like assistant to the like assistant bullshit or whatever, like the higher thingies. But don't need that many people. Or like that for the Xbox at least. Because I know there's other games, like the people that did the Tiny Tina's thingy, the DLC.
Oh, Tiny Tina.
Yeah, that they lost like a decent amount of people too.
What was the name of that DLC? Tiny Tina's
Lost Boys Interactive is one that lost people. It's Tiny Tina's Adventure or something like that.
Something like that. I don't remember the DLC or whatever. Or the you're talking about the full Tiny Tina's Wonderland game.
Yeah, Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Yeah,
full game. But yeah. So yeah, I think we're all kind of like it happens. It happens. Like that's just what it is. It happens.
Yeah. Shit happens before you can.
That's weird. Like everybody's just getting fired right now.
I mean, it's been happening. A lot of companies just.
But everything I see is always the beginning of January. I mean, for these ones at least.
Some companies probably didn't make certain goals, and then they got to cut people. It happens all the time. Like back in the corporate world, it happens all the time. Like you don't meet goals. What's the easiest way to do it? Like you blame it on the fucking. Yeah, could be part of it. You blame it on the losers, the peons, and then be like, yeah, these fuckers didn't do their job, so that's why we didn't make enough fucking money.
Yeah.
So it's like it's their fault. We're gonna cut them because we don't need them. Like we had too many. Like we can just have one guy to jump with 3. That we save $120,000.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It is what it is. Especially, that's the thing that people seem to forget too. Is it's a company. These are companies still. Yeah, they make video games. They make entertainment, but they still are a company.
They're still bottom line.
Yeah, and it sucks, but it's just something we have to accept.
Then the big corporate people get the bonuses. Yay!
Yeah, that's a whole other thing, but
I work for the state now.
I work for a casino.
# unions.
Oh god. But I think that's gonna end up doing it for this episode of the podcast. There's not much more to be said, and all that. So, JJ, go ahead and say later.
Yeah.
Devin?
Yeah. I don't want to be Everett.
Oh, God. And, I've been 2BCKU, aka Everett. And we will see you guys on the next episode later on. Fuck you, Devin. That's what I'm going to say for the last bit.